All right, good morning, good evening, wherever you are watching this. Okay, I just wanted to run through some GBP trades ideas with you. Well, currently on a AUD JPY, so I might as well run through this trade very quickly as we're currently sitting in, I believe, about 50 pips profit. Let's say 60 pips. Okay, so how did I find this trade in the first place and what's been going on? Okay, so as you can see here, we had a trend line, we had a counter trend line from underneath, and you guys probably know by now, I find all my support and resistance zones through using a line chart. Okay, so line chart, as you can see, we had obviously a clear area of support over there, support over there, support over here, and this was the key one for me. Okay, and then just looking back at this, you can see it's clearly now broke out of that area. Okay, so if you watch my previous video, you know exactly how I find these sniper entries. If not, go back and watch it. You'll find out. Okay, so candles, back to it. As you can see, the wicks are now coming into play. So if you're just looking across this line, I'm not going to go back just due to time purposes. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So you can see we had support over here, we had support over there, support over there. Okay, finally broke off out that area. And then what do you expect? A retest. Okay, so you can see here, we had that retest very cleanly. And what I do to actually find this and know if it's going to be a nice level, okay, I just literally grab my Fibonacci right from the top to the bottom. As you can see, the 38% level was met right there. Minimal drawdown, I believe that was about, I don't know, what, 2 pips, maybe? Yeah, about 2 pip drawdown. Okay, so you can see the stop loss is coming nowhere close to it. So my stop loss would usually be just around this area here. I usually put 2 or 3 Fibonacci levels above. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, and then nice clean trades, 50 pips so far. And we're expected to head down to, okay, I expect it to head down to this area right here. As you can see, just in line with that. Okay, so usually I use the -27 and -61 as my TPs. But as you can see, I'm just looking for this level right here. Okay, so very clean trades. And I believe we might be able to actually get a re-entry on this if you've missed the initial move. Because obviously this area has now been broken. So would you expect a retest? Okay, so as you can see, it's coming up to test this area again. So if you go on a 1 hour chart, okay, so you can see it's heading up. Okay, and if you wanted to use your Fibonacci again, I believe there should be another 38% retracement. Okay, so right here, okay, just slightly above, but just looking across that level, okay, just looking across that level, you can see there's many wicks over here. Okay, so that could potentially do that and then head back down. So that's what the next entry is looking like. So just 38% down, you should catch another 60 pips, I believe, something like that. Yeah, about 70 pips. Okay, so that's what you should be looking at for AUD JPY in a short term. Okay, so now moving on to the GBP pairs that actually promised. Okay, so JPY pairs look like they're all going down. As you can imagine, GBP JPY should be the same. Okay, so how I'm looking at this, already caught the initial move on the downside. Okay, so let me just zoom into this so you guys can see this clearly. Okay, so now the next move I'm expecting is a retracement into here and then fall into there. And if that happens, we should have a nice clean trade of 500 pips. Okay, and if that doesn't happen, then we just kind of break, retest off this support level and up. Okay, but why am I looking to sell this? Okay, so if I go on a daily, you guys might actually make more sense of this. Okay, so you can see we had a clear support level there, bounced up, broke through. What we're looking for immediately, look for the nearest support or resistance. And we have support here, broke, resistance should be there, falls down. But if we're looking across this level, okay, if we're looking across this level, you see exactly why I drew this purple and green line. So I'll just keep it scrolling until I find some history of what's happened in the past. Okay, so you can see this, it might look a bit messy to you. Okay, and every time it looks messy, this is why we go into the line chart. Okay, so line chart, you can see, okay, so we had some resistance over here, some resistance over there. Okay, so the line chart might vary because obviously you're used to seeing the candles and wicks. So this might look quite weird to you, but just find the nearest level here. Okay, so when I initially drew this, I believe I actually done this. Just grabbed it from that low and grabbed it right to this resistance level here. So I drew a big, wider purple area, but obviously going along with the trade, I don't quite need that. Okay, so going back to the candles. Okay, so here's all the wicks and everything I was talking about, because obviously when in a line chart, it cuts out all the noise. Okay, so just coming back across here. Okay, so where are we? So you can see the area, wicked it perfectly over there. Okay, so just looking across here, you can see we had support, bounced up. This will look better on a 4 hour. Okay, let me just reset that chart. There's support, bounced out, broke through. So now, what do you expect? a retest, and then to the downside. Okay, again, grab my Fibonacci right from the top to the bottom. Again, 61.8 is the most desirable level to sell from. Okay, so you can see this area is meeting perfectly with what I want to do. So I expect it to come into here and then fall. Okay, and then how I find my TPs, as I mentioned, I use the negative 27, negative 61.8, and then build a whole trade and from a whole trade plan from that. As you can see, we have 504 pips that we're looking for. Okay, so that's GBP JPY. That's the trade setup for that one. Okay, so let's wait for there. You can literally put a sell limit 134,060, and then that could be a sell limit. And I put currently a stop loss of about, it's 80 pips, but I expect it to get nowhere close to that. Okay, so that's what we're looking for: GBP JPY, GBP USD. Exactly the same, basically the same setup. Okay, so we're looking into here. Go on daily. You can see this area has clearly been broken, so we expect a retest at some point. So now just looking across this line, you can see there's some clear resistance here, support here, resistance there, support there. Yeah, you get a point. Okay, so line chart, if you wanted to be more precise, you can see here, we had this resistance, we had this support here, slightly resistance, slightly broke past, some support, and it went up. Okay, so when we go back to the candles, okay, so you can see this more clearly. Obviously, you've got wicks playing a role in this now, so you can see this very clearly. So now I've drawn my line, and then I've drawn this purple area here. Okay, again, it started off being bigger, but as you narrow down your trade, you start to see it more clearly, and you don't quite need it so big. You just need a specific area. So I'll go to the 4-hour chart, and obviously you can see in this area has been broken. So again, similar to the GBP JPY, what we're expecting, just a retest into this area and fall. Okay, so again, Fibonacci right from the top to the bottom. Okay, so you can see negative 27 is the TP, negative 61 is TP2. Okay, for this trade, we're looking at, well, 450 pips if this happens. Okay, simple as that. And if it doesn't, as you know, again, we just got break, retest, acts as support, and goes up. Okay, so that'll be a separate analysis if that actually happens. But for now, I believe this is what's going to happen, and it might take some time because I believe it's going to flag for some time. Maybe do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, not the cleanest of drawings, but you get the point. It's going to zigzag for some time. Let's create some consolidation before it falls. Okay, so GBP NZD, and this trade has been so beautiful since yesterday, and I just made new adjustments on it. Okay, so again, I start off on a daily. So you notice something. I always trade on a bigger time frames because you see the picture very clearly. Okay, so you're here. You see, we've got support here, resistance there, kind of support there. This level, this is where we caught the initial trades yesterday. So if I just move this up, we caught that trade from there. As you can see, had some nice support levels there. So when this broke, exactly what I've just shown you, Fibonacci into there, 61.8, and we caught that trade. Okay, so now it's broken past this level. Okay, you can see this was a previous level here, so it's broken past that level. And guess what I do? Again, I go on a 4-hour just to get a cleaner entry, just to see the picture a little bit better. Okay, so I'll see exactly what's been happening. Okay, so you can see I drew this green line here also because, as you noticed, if I go on a line chart, you've also got previous support over here, and that broke that. So I put these lines here because that's the previous one that's broke, and now we've broke past this level here. So I put a green line there. I wasn't quite ready for this to go down, so I've kind of maybe missed the entry on that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm still waiting for this area here to sell. If I miss this trade, I miss this trade regardless. But I think it should pull back more into this area. I'll see what happens in the next hour or so. But again, just grab the fib, top to bottom. We're looking for, you can see now this one's looking like the 70% level of the fib. That should drop. And if that does happen, again, you use the negative 27, negative 61.8 for that trade. I believe I've done this one maybe or no. Yeah, I've done this one more on a daily, so it looks like this. And if that does happen, then we've got a nice, well, I've done 3 TPs for this. Okay, so 1,120 pips. And you're probably thinking, where the hell did that come from? Again, just simple. Using a line charts, I'm just looking at the whole chart. I'm seeing what's happening in the long term. Okay, so you can see here we had some nice clean and resistance, support, looking across, same thing, very, very clean. Here again, support. So yeah, you can see why I've made that now take profit free. Okay, so if that does happen, if it pulls back into that area, one of these areas, we've got a nice 1,000 pip move. Okay, so that's GBP NZD. Okay, and again, if I go back on the 4 hour, if this doesn't happen, then all we simply have, if I delete this fib, all we simply have is we'll have a break to the break of the trend, break of that trend right there. Okay, started from there, that break of that trend breaks out, retests that trend or the nearest support level, goes up and goes into that trend line over there, which I found on a weekly, I believe, or was it the monthly? One of them. Okay, so GBP AUD, exactly same concept. All of these trades look very similar, guys. And again, you'll just notice a pattern of exactly what I'm doing, exactly how I'm finding these trades. Okay, so yesterday, caught that trade from there, it's down. Okay, so what do you expect is going to happen now? And again, I've just drawn out these areas. Okay, let me just make this very clean because you guys need to see this. Again, go on a line chart, and I'm just looking for areas that is previously broke. As you've seen, it's broken past that level there, and now it's here. Okay, so I've marked out this area of resistance, but really and truly, I wanted it to come more around this area, but trading is very reactive. Okay, so all you simply do is you mark out the chart, you see what's happening, you react to it. Okay, you can't plan out and anticipate exactly what's going to happen. You just plan, react to it, and you get into your trades, you make some profits. Okay, so you can see here this area was broken previously, so I marked it out. Okay, and then as you can see, it's reacting quite good off that area, and it looks like it's heading down right now. Okay, so again, if you wanted to get into that, what you simply do, Fibonacci, right from the top, because this is the top of this impulse when it started dropping, right to there. As you can see, the 38% level was met. So TP1, I can now move this TP1 into there, because I believe this is actually heading down. I don't think it's going to actually go up anymore. And then TP2, I'll just move that into there. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so now you could potentially enter this right now, and I probably will, but I might wait for this level here to be broken, retest, and then get in. Okay, so I'm not too convinced about this so far. I'll wait to see if it breaks past this level, retest, and then goes up. Okay, so that's GBP AUD. Okay, and then GBP CHF, this one I missed. I missed it totally, and I was upset because I should have caught it. Because if I go on the weekly, I actually saw this whole trade happening and I missed it still. Quite upset by it. But as you can see, okay, so it trends from there. As you can see, touched once, touched twice. And before this even whole move happened, I saw it coming down here. And I thought about a month ago, I believe this would have touched and went back up. But as you can see, it's clearly broke past it. Clearly broke past this trend. If I go on a daily, okay, if I go on a daily, you would have seen how I could have caught this trade yesterday. Okay, so which is why, was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, day before. So I could have caught this because every time a trend line is broken, as this one was, okay, so we had that trend on a weekly, it's broken, it came back up, retested, and dropped, and I missed the whole thing. And I was like, damn, how did I not even see that, or how did I not catch it? And again, as you know, every time a trend line is broken, all you simply do, it broke the trend line. So from top to the bottom where it was there, you can see the 38% level was respected because look, the bodies closed literally in line with it. So right there, where's my fib gone? Okay, so the body, actually a 50% level, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing, because look, the trend line was right there in that area right there, so that's what you would have been looking for. Okay, so right there, tested the trend line again at 50% wick, and then it's dropped. And look how much pips we have missed, or I missed. I'm not sure if you guys caught this, but yeah, 350 pips. I missed the whole thing. So guess what I'm looking for now? I'm looking for the retracement, because now again, if we delete this fib, so it's not in our way. Okay, so I always look for the nearest level of support resistance that is broke. Okay, so you can see this area right here is the nearest one now. So if I go to a line chart, I'm looking at this area. Okay, so go back to the candles, get my Fibonacci right from the top, right to the bottom, and we just set our sell limit right here, 61.8. It means perfectly. So now, again, my TPs. Okay, so I've done this one slightly different. My TPs are now from the weekly because, okay, I'll show you how. Because usually it's minus 27 and minus 61 on my TPs. But when I actually analyze this trade, I analyzed it on a weekly, and I'll show you something. So, okay, so I was looking at this whole move as one. Okay, so this right from the top there, right to the bottom there, as you can see, let me just drag this across. 70% level was the Fibonacci level respected. And remember, I said you always use the minus 27 and 61.8 as the TP. So you can see long term, I put that there. So you can see why I said daily TP3 and daily TP4. Okay, so I just want to show you guys this on a weekly just to make it very clean. But on the daily, okay, you could have done this on a daily as well, but it looks quite messy. This is why I wanted to show you on a weekly. But either way, I said that's going to be my take profit long term. And look what it's been doing so far. So close to it. Okay, but going back to the 4 hour, this is what we're looking for. Waiting for it to come back into this area, retest off there. And again, I don't expect it to happen this week. Okay, so I believe it's going to do a very slow consolidation. Okay, and then into there, and then it's going to drop. Okay, so we'll just keep a close eye on that. And if you don't know about GBP pairs, Euro GBP is a pair to keep your eye on, because Euro GBP tells you exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so you can see it does the opposite of what the main GBP pairs are doing. So you can see I was waiting for the sell, and we actually got into a sell for about 100 pips here, and then it just totally reversed, and then it's gone up. So it looks like this level is totally broken. So what you expect is going to happen? We're going to expect a retest at some point, right? So this upset me so much that I didn't even look at it after that. Okay, so this is why I've not analyzed it. Okay, so you can see here, this level right here was very key. Okay, if you go on a line chart, if you wanted to, you can see this level here. We had some resistance here, broke out, broke back in. So I expect it now. Okay, just looking at this, I'll look at this level right here for it to fall into. Okay, so if I go on a daily, let's just see what's happening on this. Okay, let's just see what's happening on this. So if I go on a daily, look at this line chart, you can see all these areas here off of interest. Okay, but I'm looking at the most previous one. So this was the most previous high. So this is why I'm looking at that one. But even if we did that, we could literally draw this line across and say, okay, cool, that was the most previous high. Okay, and just literally draw this across. If we look on the candles, you can see how it came into here, resistance, resistance. Okay, these ones, they closed right below this line. So that's a very cool area to look at now. Okay, so I'm just looking across this area. Okay, so I expect it to now reverse into here. If we use our Fibonacci, as you could tell, that's probably my favorite tool on TradingView. Okay, so Fibs, right from the big impulse to there. Okay, so now it's looking at the 50% level, lines up perfectly with that. If it doesn't, then we've got the 61% level, which I actually left there. Okay, so I believe it's going to come to one of these two levels. Okay, and then we'll see. And then we could use this minus 27, minus 61.8 as our TPs, and that's a very nice profit on a daily chart. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at currently. So that'll be TP2. Okay, and then we've got TP1 right there. So minus 27, minus 61.8. Okay, so I'll see when this actually stops moving and actually starts to fall, and then we know that's definitely our TPs, because it's going to come down to one of these two levels, and then we're going to enter off one of those. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for Euro GBP. So again, like I said, Euro GBP does the opposite of what the GBP. So if this is going up, any GBP pairs, any GBP based pairs would be going down. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. So if I just mark this out for you, so let me just get my ABC. Okay, so I'll come down to here. I've just done that totally wrong. Okay, so it started from here, broke up to there, into there, and then up. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting for, and that's what I'm looking for on Euro GBP. Okay, does that make sense? Perfect, perfect. Okay, so that's what I'm going to share with you today for the GBP base pairs. And then, yeah, I'll do more videos like this on a daily basis. So feel free to subscribe, feel free to check my channel, and then we'll take it from there. All right, God bless, take care.